Hello everyone, my name is Dominic Palazzolo. I'm the owner of Marvelous Molds, and today I'd like to introduce a new Simpress. We're calling this Simpress Diamonds in the Rough. Have you ever bought a mold or made a mold over regular gems like rhinestones or big diamonds and were disappointed with the results? I know I have, and one of the reasons is that these diamonds and rhinestones have very fine facets that are cut into them. And you know what? They don't really transfer very well to fondant. So what I wanted to do was I really wanted to explore something that would really capture light or give us great facets, great edgy side angles, that would look really good for wedding cakes or geode cakes or natural cakes. And so we came out with Diamonds in the Rough, and we call it that because if you look at diamonds, that the way they come out of the ground, they're not these tight kind of designs that you see. They have these really large facets, and they're very irregular. And so we use that as our inspiration, and I'm going to unmold this Simpress, and I'm going to show that to you in this blue color, okay? And that gives you an idea right there of this beautiful texture that now you can apply to a cake. You know, in 2018, I think the big rage now is texture. You know, we've got the sugar sequins, we've got confetti, now we even have flakes. And that's what we want to see, is this amazing texture on cakes. So look at that, okay? That is what a rough diamond looks like. And what we did was we just collected them just as you see here. Okay, so let me blow your mind. And let's go into the opposite extreme. What I have here is I poured some isomalt just so you can see. And you know what? I'm just really wondering if you can even see that in the camera, okay? Let me just try to capture it in the light. Look at the way, look at the reflection, and that just gives you an idea of the angular nature of these natural diamonds, okay? Okay, so Diamonds in the Rough. Let's talk about how to use this, okay? All right, so if you've seen me on the road at any of the shows, you know I've got these hard plastic traveling cakes, okay? So use your imagination. This is a crumb-coated cake. What we're teaching is that you crumb coat a cake and then you panel it with your Simpresses, okay? So let's do that. Okay, so I've got some Simpresses. They're preloaded. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some shortening on the back. Okay, and you could use your favorite glue. You could use whatever you like to stick fondant to a cake with. It doesn't really matter. I'm using shortening. And if you don't know how to use a Simpress, if this is the first time you've seen it, you should go to either my video page on Marvelous Molds or to my YouTube channel, which is also called Marvelous Molds, and you'll see the master class on how to use a Simpress. Today's video is just to show you a new style, okay? All right, so anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen that. And you might be wondering why I made it in this color, okay? I'm going to apply a silver coating to this entire cake when I'm done, because you just got to see that. This really looks good in metallic, and I'm saving that for last. But let me go ahead, and what we're going to do is I'm going to put my Simpress onto my cake. And really what you do is you just press it on. Now I'm doing it backwards. You're going to be working real comfortable this way. And then what you do is kind of loosen it and just pull it off. And there, look at that, all right? So that's what it looks like on the side of a cake. So look at that angular texture that you see there. This could be very natural, like stone. It could be craggy and rough for natural cakes. It could, in white, it could be a beautiful texture that's really kind of refined. It could be an edgy modern look. So there's just a lot of flexibility when using this. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to apply shortening to my next panel. This just reminds you how a Simpress can be used to cover an entire cake. So I'm just loosening it. And as always, this side right here fits perfectly in this side. Also, if you had an 8-inch tall cake, you can put it right on top, okay? So all sides fit from one Simpress panel to another on all the sides too, all right? So what you want to do is to really just concentrate on connecting one side of the Simpress and then bringing the other panel around, okay? And you just want to make good contact. And then what we're going to do is just remove the Simpress, okay? And as you can see, there is a little seam here, but all you got to do is push this together and it will be absolutely seamless. So you see that? See that? You can hardly see any seam. Okay, so you know, I hope that the camera can pick this up, okay? You should see this rocky texture, okay? It is just really, really amazing. And you know, what I'm doing is I'm calling it a rocky texture, but really it's a diamond texture. It's really, really sharp faceted, which I think is so attractive. So let's talk about a different method. This is a method that I like to teach using the Simpress. What I've done is I have just used my Simpress, which it's a self-trimming mold. I like to roll out a lot of fondant. I like to cut it into squares that fit in here. I like to press it, and I use my fondant smoother. It trims everything, and then I unmold it, and I put my panels in a pan like this, okay? And then I cover it and refrigerate it, and what I get is I get a firmness to the fondant where I can just handle it and put it on the cake without using the Simpress. So if I had a whole lot of cakes to do, I would probably use this method, okay? And what I'm going to do is just put that right there, and look at how fast I can apply these. And I'm going to take another panel and I'll just put some shortening on it. Okay, and we'll make sure that we've got the right side here, and we're just going to push it right in there and put it on. And we're just going to work our seam so that it just fits in perfectly. And there you have it. We've just covered the entire side. Now see that seam there? I can see that. So you just go there and close that up a little bit. So they're perfectly made so that one panel fits right into the other, and you should have a seamless application. They're also made 2 times the length of pie, 6.28 inches long. So remember now, if you make your cake exactly 8 inches, 10 inches, 12 inches, an even number, then the Simpress is going to fit perfectly end to end and go right around your cake, and the last panel will meet up with the first perfectly, okay? Okay, so now we have this top. Okay, if you want to, you could just leave the top buttercream. You could have also rolled out some fondant of the same color and just have the top plain. And you could have put that top on first and then put the sides around, or vice versa. It doesn't really matter. But what I want to show you is a method that I like to use if I am going to want to cover the top of the cake with a Simpress. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I have a template that is the same size as my cake, all right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that template, and I'm going to take my Simpresses, I'm going to put them side by side, and I'm going to have 2 side by side, and then I'm going to take a third one and I'm going to cut it in half. Okay, and now this is an 8-inch cake that I'm working with. Okay, so I want to fit this in. I'm going to have to get the correct side, and there we go. Okay, I'm going to fit that right in there. Okay. And then let's see if this side fits, and it sure does. So we're going to put that right into there. Okay. All right. So now what we've done is we've created a nice square with the diamonds in the rough. I'm going to put my template on top, but don't press down too hard, okay? You don't want to destroy the details, and just go around your template and just cut away the excess. Let's take that away. Now look what we've got, okay? So you take these puzzle pieces. Let's bring our cake back, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to apply these to the top of the cake. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You know, when you get accustomed to working with a Simpress, everything becomes really simple. I don't know if any of you have trouble covering an entire cake with fondant by rolling it out and lifting it up, and as the cakes get larger and larger, it's more and more difficult to do, and this is such a civilized way of doing it, and what it does is it enables you to do a lot of things that you couldn't do in the conventional way. So look how fast I'm just putting this thing together. I mean, look how fast I'm just creating an entire cake that's covered in this beautiful texture. And so if you invest in a Simpress and you try this, I think you're going to become a convert into this new method of making cakes. And I don't care if you're just a hobbyist and you make cakes for just friends and family, or if you're a professional, okay, and you make a lot of cakes. This is going to help you because it really, really takes a lot of the time, a lot of the complexity out of the process. So now that we've got the cake covered, let's just talk about something really quick, okay? Some of you perfectionists out there might see a seam here, okay? And you might want to cover that up. And what I want to show you is a really good method to do that, okay? So I'm going to move this cake aside, and I'm going to take the scrap pieces from when I used my template for the top. And I'm going to take my wheel knife, and if you notice, I've really got kind of a sharp angle here, okay? I'm cutting this way into the pattern. I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to cut the very thin slice, okay, and very angled, okay? Okay. Now, if we take, you can put glue or whatever you want on this seam. I'm just going to put a little bit of shortening, okay? And we're just going to put a little shortening so it sticks, so you can see what I'm going to do. And we're going to take this wedge and we're going to put it right onto that seam, okay? And what that does is it gives you kind of like a cover, okay? And it puts the rough diamond texture right onto your seam. And then what you do is you can work that in real quick, just kind of push it in with a ball tool, okay, and make it look natural. And that's a way that you can actually camouflage. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and filled the seam around this cake, and now you can see that the entire cake is covered with this great texture. Okay, now let me show you something, okay? I made this color of fondant. Maybe you were wondering why. Number one, I think that it communicates a really good stone color. If you ever wanted to use this for stone or for some type of a natural cake, of course it lays great. Remember now, if you're making a geode cake, there's nothing better on the inside of the cake and on the outside of the cake than this, okay? But let's go the other extreme. Let's imagine a really posh event and we really want to impress, okay? Like we really want to sparkle. Okay, so what I've got here is I've got some powdered metallic dust dissolved in vodka. And let's see, I want to get this position good. Okay, I'm going to start on the top. And let's just apply this. So the color that I made, which is kind of a gray, is a great backdrop to my silver color. Okay, it lays great for that, and so that's why I did it. And now you can see that very, very quickly I can cover this cake. Of course, if you want to use an airbrush, sure, absolutely. I mean, you probably get it done faster, better, quicker. But we're just going to go the conventional route here and apply this beautiful silver color. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the side. So just going to brush it. Look how fast we can go here, okay? Boy, if you did this with any type of confetti or rock candy that you tried to stick on with like some piping gel, which I think is kind of gross if you cover an entire cake with piping gel, you know. But look at this. Look how fast I'm finishing off this cake in a really, really great color. And now this is becoming a centerpiece. You know, if this was a layer on a wedding cake, you know, at a high-end event, or just at an event where the bride really has an appreciation for, you know, something sophisticated, something that's going to really grab your eye, something that has some bling to it, real style. This is so easy to do as a cake decorator. You're going to blow their minds by bringing these rough diamonds onto the scene, okay? I just, you know, I never know if the camera is going to pick up what I'm seeing here. I kind of wish that I was demonstrating for you at a show, because then you could really see this. But bam, okay? Look at this thing, okay? It is absolutely stunning, and that's exactly what we were going for. That's what we wanted. We wanted something that was going to grab light and throw it right back at you. So, you can now purchase the Diamonds in the Rough Simpress. I highly recommend you try this, and you can get this at marvelousmolds.com or go to any of our fine distributors all over the world. I'd like to thank you for watching, and be sure to join our newsletter and also our YouTube channel. Thank you very much.